Hello friends, my name is Dr. Priyank Solanki. I am an eye surgeon and I'll be talking to you today about the anatomy of the eye. So when we think of eye, the first thing that comes to our thoughts are vision. Eye is one of our special sense organs which are present in our body which helps you to see clearly. It can be in day, evening or night. Okay, so this is a model of the eye. So the eye can be divided into two major parts. First, the front part called as the anterior, the back part called as the posterior. There are different structures in the eye which helps you to see clearly. I'll be briefly telling to you about each structures with the name and the usage of that structure. So the first structure which comes to the eye, okay, we'll be talking about the eye structures from outside to inside, from outside to inside, because when I'm seeing here, this is the front part which is the outside, the back part which is not seen is the inside. So this is what we'll be going forward. The first part which you see here is the clear structure called as the cornea. This is a transparent tissue which is present in the eye. This has no blood vessels, okay, and this has no lymphatics. So when it's in the front of the eye is the first structure. Okay? This helps to focus the light which is coming from outside onto your retina with the help of the lens. The second structure in the eye is called as the iris. Now this color structure is the one which gives you the color of the eye. It may be brown, it can be hazel, it can be black, greenish, bluish, or a different combination of colors. Now this structure is filled with, consists of muscles. Now these muscles contract and relax. This helps you to see clearly. The central part of the iris has a hole called as a pupil. This controls the light that enters into the eye in a fashion which is required based on your environment. Let's say if you are in the bright daylight or if you are in a bright environment, it is called as a pupil constricts. If you are in an evening environment where there is less light or it's a dim zone or at night, this circle called as a pupil will expand or dilate. This is the light to enter more into the eye, so that you can see more clearly, because more light goes inside, it can capture the necessary image in the eye. Coming to the next part, which is called as the lens. Now this lens is one of the major structures in the eye. This transparent, clear structure which is there in the eye, which is in the center, just behind the iris, is called as a lens. Okay. Now this lens can either bulge in the center or relax in the center. This helps to focus from outside, which passes through the cornea, onto the retina, which is the nerve of the eye, which you can see as a pinkish area. Based on the light which comes, if it's very far off, it will relax, the light will focus here. If it's very close, as if you're reading near work or anything like phone or writing, then the light will be diverging, and then this relaxes so that the curvature of the lens becomes more. This helps to focus more onto the right. So the physics behind this, we might do it in a later stage. Today informing you about the anatomy only, so I'm just talking about the structure. There are this, you can see those red lines. So these are the muscles which help the lens to be in place and contract and relax, helping it to change the shape of the lens, which helps you to focus. These are called as ciliary muscles. They are very small. They have an important job which helps the lens to focus onto the retina. It's this major cause that the lens will not be able to focus onto the retina when we are at an older age, like 40, 45, 50 beyond. When we are not able to see closer distance objects or cannot read, the light is not able to focus onto the retina. That's because partly this is one of the causes. The muscle becomes weaker, Hence, the lens is not able to focus also. The lens also ages in its shape, because of which it loses its elasticity, becomes more rigid. So along with this combined, the escalation happens and the light cannot focus onto the retina. The next structure is the posterior part. Okay? In that we have the big empty zone which you see here. This is called as a vitreous cavity. This structure is filled with a gel called as vitreous. This is a clear empty space which is filled with this clear structure. By birth, this is always transparent. There is no liquid, there is no semi-solid. With age, what happens? This gel which is there, called as a vitreous, starts losing its consistency, and this starts becoming a bit semi-solid or a bit liquidiform. These clumps which forms in the vitreous, later on in your age, you would have seen black floaters going around your eyes. We see this very commonly. It is an age-related change which happens where many patients or many people experience this, saying that I can see a black floater, means a black circle or a black wavy line or black hashtag, okay, or a circle moving along with the movement of your eye. Now these are majorly the changes in this vitreous gel. These are generally an age-related changes without any major or pathological changes. Of course, if they are related with any other retinal changes, they can cause, but most of the times these are benign. The next important structure is the nerve of the eye, called as the retina. Now this is a single major organ which is in the eye, which gives you the vision part clearing. This nerve is made up of many microscopic tissues. Okay, there are about 10 layers in this. Now each layer has its own importance, but the most important layer in this retina is the layer of rods and cones. Now these two cells, called as the rods, which are shaped in the rod size, the cones which are shaped in the cone size, help you to see and differentiate the light, the object and the size. So the rods are the one which helps you to see in dim light. Cones are the one which helps you to perceive the color. There are basically three types of cones: the red, the green and the blue. Based on the combination of light which is perceived by the nerves of the eye, the retina, the color combination you will be seeing. The combination of these primary colors in mixture will give you different colors like pink, magenta, yellow, black, white, purple and others based on the different hue. This is what is the major use of the nerve. The nerve of the eye, the retina, starts from this area where the nerve ends, the ciliary muscle which I told you, from one side and goes and covers up to the right. So this is a 360 degrees where it covers. Okay, it's a very large area which covers the nerve. So the light which comes from outside passes through the cornea, through the pupil, the hole in the eye, center in the iris, focused with the help of the natural lens inside the eye and onto the nerve. Now this nerve takes those light, connects them into an electrical impulse through these rods and cones on the right, and then transmits them to this yellow structure called as an optic nerve to the brain. This goes directly to the brain, right? So from the start to the end, this is how the structures of the eye are made mainly. So one small structure which I will also tell you, which is not inside the eye but which is very important, is called as the muscles of the eye. You see these black structures? So these black structures are only color, but these are the muscles. Okay, so these muscles are actually brown in color. Now these muscles helps you to movement for the movement of the eye, the right, left, up, down or sideways. Okay, based on the vector position of each or combination of the muscle, the eye can move either ways, either circle, left, right, up and down. Okay, so this is how it is. So these are the things, the structures which we see in that. Okay, I hope this small informative video was helpful for you. so that you understand what a basic eye anatomy is. This helps you to understand what pathology or what issues are there in your eye, so that when your doctor, when your eye surgeon says the issue is in this structure, you know where the part is, rather than just sitting and imagining it, which part of the eye it is. You can now learn, understand what this structure was affected with. Thank you.